you the statistics on how this was given back to me. Many have left church, not their faith. They're looking for family, purpose, and there's that word again, community. So many left the church, but not their faith. We're talking about the millennials. Looking for family, purpose, and community. Family focused. Community driven. Purpose oriented. Skeptical, but open. This is what research gave me back. I mean, this is so cool that they're skeptical, but they're open. The millennials didn't lose their faith, just their connection. So they've lost their connection. So understand that the moment here, reaching Gen Z is the future. Reaching millennials is families. If we reach both, we reach this county. So, here's what God has given us that I know works well here. Okay? I don't know what you think, but people have been very complimentary over the sermon series and different things that I've been preaching, and I'm telling you, I'm so thankful and excited for the next one that's coming up. The children's ministry is good. The prayer team absolutely is at the top of the line. I mean, see, we're not broken here. You know, people think they're broken. You know, and it's like, I understand. Here's what, and I hear the intercessors say this, and it's a hard sell for me. And I'm not being offensive to the intercessors or to people that have told me this. But this is a hard sell for me because I'm thinking, and I was talking to Christy about this coming up the road today, and that there are, the demonic is alive and well in Braxton County. Okay, there's deception, there's people that, you know, are cheating and who's being true and all that kind of stuff. But it happens like that everywhere, okay? And I don't doubt that we have to press through some things. Here's the hard sell for me. Is somebody posted on Facebook the other day, a friend of ours, said, well, now the fight begins. And I think we're more powerful than a fight. I think we're more powerful than a fight. And let me tell you why that I think we're more powerful than a fight. It is, when you look at Exodus 10:10, it tells us that I fight for you, hold your peace. All right, that's Exodus 10:10. Luke 19 tells us, he said this to the ones, that 70 that went out, and they came back rejoicing that the spirits are subject to them. He said, but yet, he said, don't rejoice that the spirits are subject to you, but rejoice that your name is written in heaven. That's what he says. So when you think of you know, people that say they're fighting, people that are battling, people that are going through things, yes, I know that. Here's where I need convincing. If we are children of the Most High God, which I believe we are, we're the most powerful identity that ever exists. All right? Why are these things that have interfered within the church and have interfered within this county, why are they still here? Why is the demonic still active? Here's why. They're subject to us. We don't tell them what to do. We tell them what to do. They don't tell us what to do. Addiction is subject to us. It doesn't tell us what to do. We tell it what to do. Cancer is subject to us. We tell it what to do. It doesn't tell us what to do. So I'm talking to Christy about this coming up the road, and I said, I need help in the revelation of trying to figure out why people are fighting to get what they need. And then I thought, John 10:10. The enemy comes to what? Jesus said, I come and have it more abundantly. The abundant life that God wants us to live in is knowing the power that we carry. Knowing the power that we carry. And so when I hear that there are demonic things and pockets and things that are going on in this town, I don't doubt that. I'm thinking, here's the question, why are they still here? They shouldn't be here. Agree or disagree? Nod your head. Should they be here? Should they be? No, they shouldn't be here. Why? Because we're the church. The most powerful identity that ever existed is us. Why are you addicted? You don't have to be. You tell addiction what to do. You tell cancer what to do. You tell these things what to do because you are a child of the Most High God. And that's who we need to be. So I don't think maybe we don't have the revelation like the intercessors do, which I agree. I'm just trying to figure out why they're still here. Why are they still here? Why is the demonic still here? When you hear those people pray, I hear them pray. I don't pray. I stay out of the way. I mean, I hear Christy and I hear Yoey and I hear Barb and Karen and Kelly. When they're on the call, I hear them pray. I'm praying along with them. I don't interfere. That's a whole different level than I'm not on. You say, well, you should be. You're the pastor. I'm not an intercessor. But I'm thinking, wow. I'm thinking, I don't know why any demonic. I mean, when they pray, I think the devil pees. He dribbles a little. Because he's scared. When you have intercessors that we have, why? The devil should have packed up a long time ago. So here's the thing. We got to figure out, because we're the most powerful identity, how we're going to reach the Gen Zs and the Millennials, because the statistics, learned this in grad school, the statistics, numbers do not lie, and this is what we're dealing with. If we reach both, we've reached the county, preaching, children's ministry, prayer. We're not broke, we're just being built. We're just being built. It's been a long process. It's been a long process. So where are we going to be building at, and what is all this right here that I'm going to pass out to you today is discipleship, outreach, and worship. These are areas that God is going to help us. And the front door to this generation is the experience of Jesus. Experiencing Jesus, not experiencing anything, but these people want us to be authentic, they want us to be present, they want us to be community, and they want us to be purpose. So people don't reject Jesus, they are rejecting what feels fake. Do you know that there's an accounting firm locally, and a person one time told me this. This person said, I could not tell you the shysters of preachers that we have in this community that try to rip off the federal government with their taxes. And I'm thinking, my God, it's no wonder there's not a move of God in Braxton County. It seems like that we've got a bunch of heathens that are preachers in this area. You show me. My books are open. I pay my taxes. I don't owe the federal government nothing. Somebody slammed me on Facebook one time and said that I took church money and bought an airplane. The church has never, not one dime of church money has went to my airplane. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. People don't reject Jesus, they reject what feels fake. And Gen Z's worship, connection, social presence. Millennials, kids ministry, family, practical teaching. These things are so important. I'm getting down to one of the biggest things here. So the plan is for us, number one, is to pray. Prayer is so important. We have to pray. And you know, we don't pray like the intercessors do. I mean, they pinpoint things. You say, well, you could pray like they do, but let me tell you something. They are a different level. The intercessors in this church are at a different level than, and I think we'd already have the doors closed if our intercessors weren't here. So the plan is this: pray, invite, welcome, connect, disciple, send. So the shift is this, and you have to understand it. This is not my church. This is our mission. This is our mission. And your role and my role is to invite, to serve, to encourage, and to reach. And if each one of us are reaching one person, then we're growing together. We're growing together. So here's the target. This right here, we're not going to do yoga because I really don't like yogurt. It's spoiled when you buy it, and I'm thinking, ew. But think about this. This will make you go, home. I gave you numbers of 12,000 people in Braxton County. All right, you ready for this? If we can hold 220, all right? 1% of Braxton County is 120 people. 2% of Braxton County is a full room. 220 people is 2% of this county. Do you think that we can't reach 2%? That absolutely should make you, everybody with me right here. This is relief. Go ahead, do it with me. You thought you were going to have to reach the whole county. You thought I was going to sit up here and tell you you had to reach the whole county for Jesus. 2%. God only demands 10% of your salary, and like Andy Stout says, he lets you keep 90%. 2% fills us up. We don't need everyone. We just need 1 or 2%. Are you relieved? You should be. You should be relieved. So, we are positioned for impact. 20 to impact. We are called to grow, and we are called to reach people. I am so stoked. I was so relieved when I got those numbers back, and I'm thinking, man, I thought we had to reach the whole county. Who gives a flip on the 98%? All we need is 2. It's like somebody says they come to the front door and they say, I want to come to your church. No, we're at 220. You have to go somewhere else. We're maxed out here, baby. We're not doing 2.1%. 2%, and we're stopping. Go to double services. I used to have to do that. That's tough, preaching 2 services. We did that in Cross Lanes. We had a growing church down there. Man, that thing was rocking and rolling. It was hard because we didn't have enough parking. We didn't have enough parking. So, thank you, Emmett. So the next part of the sermon today, or the pep talk, whatever you want to call it, the vision, a lot of people were asking me, they say, you said you were going to talk vision, but you haven't talked vision. Well, I was still trying to figure it out in my head on what God was saying. So what I'm going to say to you is on the outreach breakout session. This is one of the things that we need to concentrate on. We're going to talk about discipleship before we go. We're going to talk about outreach before we go. These are things that are very, very important. This is going to be the success of the 20 to impact. These things here. So as we go through these things, I want you to be praying and say, God, which one do you want me to be a part of? Yeah, just sideways there. Thank you. Which one do you want me to be a part of? So from 20 to impact, reaching the future, reaching families, here's the goal. We are not just hosting events, but we are creating pathways for people to encounter God and connect to the church. We're not just hosting events, but we are creating pathways for people to encounter God and to connect to the church. So how do we do that? We have to reset the mindset. You reset the mindset by this. Outreach is not an event. It's a strategy to reach people who would never walk into your church on Sunday morning. Agree? Outreach is not an event. It's a strategy. I mean, we can say anything that we want to, but it's a strategy to reach people who will never walk into this church on Sunday morning. So here's some key truths. Outreach is this. It's the front door to the unchurched. Outreach is not here. From that front door outside to the unchurched is outreach. Events don't grow churches. Connections do. Understand that. Events don't grow churches. Connections do. The connections that we have. And many of you have done your job. You've invited your friends. You've invited people, to come and to be a part of what's going on here. The thing about it is, up until now, there really hadn't been anything going on here. We've been existing, maintaining a building. Events don't grow churches, connections do. The connections that we have, the connections will bring people out. There's people that I fly with that have not been to church, but yet when we are frying up hamburgers at Holly Gray, they're there. Every outreach should lead to this: relationship, invitation, next step. So, this is why this matters. Between 7,000 and 9,000 people. Think of this. We got how many people? 12,000. So, between 7,000 and 9,000 people in our county do not go to church. And you know them. We may never see 7,000 to 9,000 people attend our church, but they'll come and play softball. They'll come and play games. They'll come to a family event. They'll come to outdoor activities. So we don't wait for them to come to us. We go meet them where they are. Guys, this is going to be a lot of work. And at the end of this, I'm going to say, we're either going to pack it up or go home, or let's do this thing. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work. But it's going to be fun. I've been working on those daycares for a month or two, 4 a.m. up here by 6. And I mean, it's like it's been a lot of work. But I'm starting to see the results. See, work should have results. Anything you do, you should have results. If you're not having results, you need to check and see why you don't have results. And if you don't have results, you need to think about doing something else. Don't spend your time where there is no results. So we don't wait for them to come to us. We go to them. So what do we already have? So you have to think about this. You can only solve a problem by what you know, not by what you think. You solve a problem by what you know. So what we already have is we know we have pickleball twice a week. I played pickleball from 10 o'clock yesterday morning to almost 2 p.m. Christy and I played in Nitro, and I got to meet some really nice people that I would never reach. I gave away one of the pickleball books to a guy who is on a board at a church in Spring Hill. He says, one of our deacons is over there. I'm going to let him see this. And I got to really talk to people about Jesus yesterday playing pickleball. And I thought, man, it was exciting. So, okay, pickleball is established here. So one thing that we know that is established, and here's a strategy for people that play pickleball. If we bring a friend, it's easy to bring a friend. They say, well, I can't play pickleball. Well, how do you know? You never played. On Monday nights, when we play, if I'm not up here and we play in Scott Depot where we started, about 10 of us go out and eat afterwards. Chinese, Taco Bell, wherever it may be. A bunch of us went out Saturday afternoon after we played, Friday afternoon, and after we played, and we had lunch. And I told this one guy, his name's Tim, and he's just back because he broke his ankle, and he was really trying to beat me and this other guy. And they finally did. And I said, Tim, I've been praying about this, and I feel that since you won, you should buy us all lunch. Actually, he did. It was really nice of him. So, when we think about this, and we think about, I have taught in Scott Depot, and I want to teach it up here too, and I want to teach you all how to teach it, because I can't be every spot, but I want to start teaching this book. I'm giving away more books than I'm selling, but that's okay because it's helping people. This one guy, Sam, who's unsaved, told me the other day, he says, this book is helping me. He said, because it's easy. And he plays pickleball. 2-minute encouragement and prayer, personal invite. We have bouncy houses. We have 3 of them that are downstairs. I'm getting ready to have them inspected. It's $100 for each one of them to inspect. I have to literally drag them out on me. Those things are heavy. And I drag them out on the sidewalk and blow them up so the lady can put a sticker on them from the state of West Virginia. And it's $100 per. And I'm getting ready to do that. I'm going to do it on a Wednesday when Emmett's not working. I think the Lord really wants that, Emmett. Yeah. Emmett's going to go in and say, put me on the schedule. Don't care what I'm doing. I ain't doing it. Family fun days. I think we need to start family fun days, this outreach. And I think it's important that we do that. Community events, whatever we can get involved in. I know it's hard, but the thing about it is, we have to think, how are we going to get results? And school partnerships are important too. If we can figure out how we can help. We have a good relationship with the daycare and the school, and I think that there's some things that we can possibly do there. One thing that I think would be absolutely exciting and a huge opportunity is to do something at the shooting range. Men, young adults, unchurched community members, people who don't attend church. Doing something, at the shooting range is really good. Going out for dinner after, food, have a short encouragement. But here's the key, is follow-up. If we have events, follow-up. We have to get information. If you notice, everybody who goes to my personal website, we ask them to sign in for the newsletter so that we can be able to follow up. Start building relationships with people. We're not using the shooting range necessarily to shoot, but we're using it to connect. Here's problems to avoid. People come, people leave, no connection. Waste of time and money. If there is no connection, then there's no growth. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. So we need to attract by having fun events. We need to connect by talking and building relationships. We need to capture, getting the information from people. Then we need to invite, which is the next step. And then we follow up within 24 to 48 hours, and I'll be glad to help on that, on any of this. The events are not the win. The connection is the win. Pickleball, weekly, being consistent, a devotional moment, an invite culture, family fun day, bouncy houses, food, and music. These are things that are important. I think we need to look at, now you can look at me and say, we can be traditional here, but let me tell you something. And I talked to Sam about this, and I said, Sam, do you think we'll take a hit on this if we did this? And we talked about it. But Christians love to play bingo. I mean, what's wrong with playing bingo? I didn't know this until Jake and I talked about this one day. But, I don't play poker for money, but there's people who love to play poker who are Christians. But see, it always has a downside to it because it's gambling. It's not gambling if you don't have money. It's a card game. People like to play poker. Board game nights, family, youth events, relaxing in a relaxing environment in somebody's home. Look, here's the key. The key is do this stuff outside of the church. My Lord, the electric bill was $907 last month. We're here once a month. Imagine if we pick that up and start being here more, and we don't have any more people here, it's hard to pay it. So outside, just like you tell your kids, like Mom used to lock us out of the house, Kathy and me, in the summertime and said, don't come back until dinner. You think I'm lying? You came back, you had a big dirt ring around your neck and stunk and Dad wasn't home. Yeah. Board game night, family, relaxing environment. Softball, cookouts, Holly Gray Park, inviting the community, adding kids' activities, making it full experience. But remember, if we don't connect, we're wasting our time. Shooting range. And this is not the bridge for people who try to sidestep church. This is a way to bring them back in. Now, some additional ideas, back to school bash. We have these bouncy houses, youth night, community day serving, holiday events, coffee and donut outreach. These are things that we can do. So here's the cultural shift. We host events. No, that's not what we want to do. We reach people through events. Outreach is not something that we do occasionally. It's who we are. So it's team ownership when you think about it. Who are you bringing? Who are you talking to? Who are you inviting? You don't need a title to reach someone. You just need to care. What are you going through? You know, John Sandy is one. He and I had dinner the other night, and man, I tell you what, he was just ministering to somebody there at the restaurant, and I'm thinking, you know, he is so good at that. But it's through casual conversation. It's not because, you know, this person was going through something. It's not that we need a title. You know, just like when I introduced myself to Josh last week, and he said, "Hi, Pastor John, how are you?" I said, "Lose the title. Just call me John." I'm past that, 37 years. I don't need to be called pastor. I mean, I know it's out of respect, but look, you don't have to. So we need to look at one outreach a month, assign leaders for it, build up fellowship system. We need to work on that, how we're going to a follow-up system, how we need to do that, and then we need to track the results. How are we doing? Invite someone, talk to someone, follow up, bring someone. I hope this is not boring to you today, because this has been a lot of stuff that's been here. There are people who will never walk into this church, and we know that. But there's also 2% that we can get. See, churches are trying to get people, fish from other aquariums, to come to your aquarium. No, we don't want that. I remember one time a guy was mad at Doug Smells, and Doug wasn't even pastor here. This guy calls me. He's mad at Doug. Doug's at the Methodist church up in Sutton. And this guy calls me, and he's mad at Doug and wants to come to our church and start playing on the praise team because he's mad at Doug. I called Doug. Now see, here's what preachers would do. Ooh, low-hanging fruit. God's in this. God is not in you being mad and leaving, because you take your offense with you. So I called Doug, and I said, "Doug, such and such is upset with you. You need to call them, because they're wanting to come here. And I don't want them here if God doesn't want them here." Doug called them, and worked it out. You're thinking, man, you missed out on a good musician. I didn't miss out on nothing, because he didn't belong here. Did we attract? Did we connect? Did we capture information? Did we invite? Did we follow up? Nellie, get your crackers out. I'm not done, and let me have one too. You got it? I'll take one. We are not just building events, but we are building opportunities to reach people. That's what we need to do. So we need people in that category. We need people in that category, people that can be able to drum up the things that we're talking about. And it could be totally, thank you, it could be totally, doesn't have to be, you know, I think we need to add something midweek. Whether we're at a restaurant, I know we talked about that after the weather cleared up. You know, Dad shoveled snow on Monday and cut grass on Friday. It's March. You know, it's just the way it is. But I would love to do something. I mean, Christy and I are doing stuff with other churches in where we live. We want to do stuff up here too, you know. Winfield has a Bible study on Monday night with men and women. They get together at 6:30 and then they start at 7. And it's a lot of fun. I encourage somebody to start something like that. So, when you think about discipleship, here's the thing that I was telling Christy yesterday. I said, we got to get ready for this. We got to get ready. We got to get people trained. We got to get people ready for discipleship. If we had a flood of people come through the door, we wouldn't be ready to put them where they need to go. We wouldn't be ready. So, from 20 to impact, reaching the future, reaching families, here's the mission. Jesus didn't say, go make attenders. He said, go make disciples. And if we don't make disciple people, the world will. the world will. If we don't disciple people, the world is going to disciple people. So Braxton County, the opportunity, 12,000 people, 7,000 to 9,000 people are unchurched. They're at Walmart right now. We're missing out on seeing those people. This is not just a crowd problem. This is a discipleship opportunity. Our generation focus, Generation Z, 12 to 25, look, let me tell you something. Everybody, I know we've been saved for 100 years, but we got to lose the church lingo. You cannot, who is that one friend? Jake brings, or somebody brings a friend in this church, and I'm telling you what, every time this guy comes in this church, I mean, it's a Holy Ghost tear down, people laying in the floor, people speaking in tongues and shouting and all that kind of stuff. Every time this guy shows up, I'm thinking, he'll freak out. But he still comes back. I'm not saying lose that. But you can't go up to somebody and let me use Brady for an example like this. I mean, he's been around us long enough, but I can't go up to Brady and say, man, I tell you, we had a Holy Ghost, explosion on Sunday. There were people shouting and speaking in tongues. There were people running around the aisle, and I mean, there was this person got slayed in the spirit, and I mean, it was just powerful. You want to come on Sunday? And this person is unchurched. We blow their mind because we can talk the lingo. Gen Z, 12 to 27, disconnected, need identity and mentorship. They need us to mentor them. The millennials, 28 to 43, families seeking purpose and community. The real problem is this. People attend, but they don't grow. People come, but they don't connect. If people don't grow roots, they won't stay. You got to think, why are we here? To make disciples. It's not a class or information. Yes, it can be, and I highly recommend this, but it's a relationship. It's growth. It's accountability. It's walking with somebody. That's discipleship. You know, my mentors in ministry, James Ashworth and Jim Wright, never yelled at me. I remember being in a church service one time, and I picked up James, and the first thing out of the church service, I felt a leading for somebody that was having, this woman was having some female problems. The place is packed. I call for it. The person doesn't come. And it's like, I was like, I could have like crawled under the pew. Wow, you know, this is a leading. Where are they? And James Ashworth told me on the way home, he said, Brother John, he said, it's probably best for people to hear you preach before you start calling out leadings. He said, they got to build up their trust in you. He didn't get in the car and say, man, you're an idiot. What is wrong with you? I've never done it. We disciple people. We help them. It's a relationship. It's growth. It's accountability. It's walking with somebody. The discipleship path is this: invite, connect, grow, serve, reach. We don't just want people sitting. We want people growing and reaching. I remember when we moved offices in Taze Valley. We have an office in Taze Valley. And we moved from a bigger office to a smaller office, and that's where we do the podcast and counseling. I do counseling down there as well, and Pastor Jay does also. And we moved, and there was a guy that had just started attending the church. His name's Carl. And Carl, he showed up to help move. I go up to him, how you doing? I'm John Fowler, nice to see you. I'm Carl, and now him and his wife, she's written a book, and she's getting ready to, I think she's working on her second book. She's working on something for Pastor Jay, and he's in the sound booth, working, and there was a lady that Instacart, when I was doing Instacart after I got canned at the bank, I was at Aldi's, and I started talking to her about, yeah, you need to check out the Winfield campus. They now have 2 kids, and he was in Winston-Salem with us at church camp. And I invited her while I was working. Another guy that's involved, he's goofy. And he's the funniest guy that I think I know, one of them. Worked at the bank. And I told him, I said, let me talk to you a minute. And he met me at the front door. And I said, do you go to church anywhere? No. I said, I got a place for you. You need to check out the Winfield campus. I do that around here, but it doesn't really work very good down here for some reason with me. I don't know, but it works really good. And so there's 3 people that I invited that are, well, I didn't invite Carl, but the other 2, that attend Winfield because I invited them. And her husband is over the softball team. He's the coach of the softball team. It's easy. When you believe in what you're doing, it's easy. Mentorship, real conversations, identity in Christ, they stay through relationship. You're building relationship with people. Community, family support, that's Gen Z. The millennials is this. Community, family support, practical teaching, they stay through community. So Gen Z wants relationship, millennials want community, which is that word that I don't like very good called fellowship. But it's community. So it's not just my job, it's part of my job, for us to reach people that way. But discipleship is everyone's responsibility. I want them to be more interested in meeting you than me. Go around, and when you have a visitor, and introduce them to everybody else and me last, because you all are more important. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. You all are more important. Discipleship is for everyone's responsibility. You don't need a title. You just need to care. There's so many people today that want titles. You can have my title. I don't care because I don't have to be called pastor. I may be the pastor, but look, it's about us working together. It's about team ownership. Who are we reaching? We know who needs to be reached. Who are we helping to grow? Nobody right now except for us. And we're hogging all of it for ourselves. We're not sharing it with anybody. Don and JD have left the church, but every Sunday they get my sermon. I text it to them. Whether they want to hear it or not, I don't know. I can't click on it and see if they listen to it or not. But every Sunday, because I'm their pastor. Every Saturday, Uganda is listening to messages, 42 people in a school there. I have talked to Pastor Stephen, and when I go to Uganda, I've asked him, I said, can we partner with you, and can the church be called the Pulse Mountain Church? It's on the table. I don't stop thinking about stuff. I don't stop praying about stuff because it's exciting. It's exciting. Who are we reaching? Who are we helping to grow? If everyone disciples one person, we multiply. We multiply and we have to change it to 40 to impact. Just that quick. So here's the next steps. Start small groups. Have somebody who is a leader of that small group. Create follow-up. You begin to pastor that group. You begin to oversee that group, to help that group. Teach somebody. And track the growth. How you doing? Invite somebody. Walk with somebody. I like that word walk instead of invite. Walk with somebody. Somebody that's going through a hardship. Teaching someone. Encouraging someone. There are people who need someone to walk with them. Do you agree or disagree? We have, according to statistics, we have between 7,000 and 9,000 people who need somebody to walk with them. All we need is 2%. 2% fills the building. We need people, someone to walk with him. You know who that someone is? Us. It's us. We are not just building a church. We are building people who reach people. If someone reaches one, then we are doing our job. One of the biggest ways that I've seen, I'll be playing pickleball at 5:15. I'm on a pickleball tour over the next couple of weeks promoting the book. And so I have to get up at stinking 5:15 in the morning and be in Nitro. No, I have to get up earlier than that. I have to be in Nitro at 5:15 in the morning to promote the book. Play pickleball at 5:15 in the morning. Yeah, you'll be up. But look, people can know you write books and different things, but unless you go out and talk about it, you just assume people think you're a Christian because you don't drink, cuss, or smoke. No. I thought about this the other day. I have friends that are in burning houses, and I drive by their house and don't rescue them. They're burning. You think think about this. Think about a house in town that's on fire. And you keep driving because you want to beat the Presbyterians to Shoney's. So, you just drive right by. That's what we do to the friends that we talk to on a regular basis. Because we don't want to offend anybody. Look, it's not about offending people. It's about walking with people. So, this is the last 6 months. This is my thought process. This is what I've been praying about. This is what I believe will work. So, here's what we have to do. Who wants to be, you don't have to say this today. We'll come back and do this again. Who wants to be on the discipleship team? Who wants to be on the outreach team? And then we will have bi-weekly meetings and say, okay, what are we doing? When we have an event, we're going to be ready for follow-up. How are we going to do the follow-up? When we have discipleship, whoever's on that team. See, those teams will work together. Outreach and discipleship will work together because hopefully outreach will hand people over to discipleship. And then what you do is you get them in here and I'll preach to them. Isn't that good? So do we want to pack up and go to the house, or do we want to do this? We got it in us? I got it in me. I'll do it. I'm one of the 20 to impact. I know people who, here's the thing, and you could be arrogant if you want to by saying this, but I don't think it's that way. People need to know what you have to say. People need what you know. Yeah. Yes. Thanks for watching and listening and being a part of the Pulse WV Live. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.